China just told its banks to stop buying US treasuries and ordered its largest financial institutions to start selling US debt. This is a major blow to the United States because China is the third largest holder of US debt, and dumping $700 billion of US debt is going to shoot interest rates in the United States to the moon. But Donald Trump has a plan that is either going to break the United States or break China, which is why investors are very worried. And you should be worried as well because it is directly going to impact your life. If you think that this is an exaggeration, then watch this video till the end and you will be convinced. So if you're ready, give this video a thumbs up and let's get right into it. The real question is why China holds hundreds of billions of dollars of US treasuries in the first place. China does international trade with the rest of the world, and it is the second largest importer in the world. Back in 2015, it imported about $1.7 trillion worth of goods. Last year, it imported $2.6 trillion worth of goods. So it needs US dollars in order to settle trade with the UK, the European Union, the rest of the world, and the United States. But holding so much US dollars is unprofitable business because the dollar is consistently losing its value. In fact, the Federal Reserve itself has a targeted inflation rate of 2%. So whether you like it or not, the dollar will lose at least 2% of its value anyways. Which is why instead of holding US dollars, you are going to hold a lot of US treasuries, and the US treasuries are going to pay you a consistent interest. And whenever you need US dollars to do international trade, you're simply going to convert your US treasuries into US dollars and will pay the UK, the EU, the United States, you name it. Even the Chinese government is investing in the United States and you haven't started investing yet. That's why I created the Investing Academy where you can learn step by step on how to start investing. The link is in the description. There are two types of US debt: intragovernmental debt and public debt. Intragovernmental debt is when the US government owes money to itself. So one government agency owes money to another government agency. So the US government cannot possibly go broke when it owes money to itself. The second type of debt is the public debt. This is the debt that the US government owes to China, Japan, the rest of the world, US banks, US investors, or any other investors, including the Federal Reserve. Back in 2011, 49% of all public debt was held by foreign countries. Today, that number has dropped to as low as 30%. This number is alone telling us that the rest of the world isn't buying US debt like it used to in the past. In fact, they've been massively selling their debt, especially China. Like around 10 years ago, China used to be the largest investor in the United States, and it held about $1.2 or $1.3 trillion of US debt. Since then, they sold about half of their debt because they started using their own currency for international trade. And as the Chinese economy grows, more countries are trading with China, which means that China doesn't even need the US dollar. They can just trade with the yuan. But here's where the biggest problem actually comes. Back in 2020 and 2021, especially in 2021, the United States borrowed trillions of dollars because the United States was still under the pandemic. In fact, the rest of the world was also under the pandemic. But because interest rates were insanely low, it allowed the US government to borrow those trillions of dollars at an interest rate that is anything between 0 to 1% interest rate. And the vast majority of that debt was 5 years debt or less, which means that in 5 years, most of that debt is going to mature. So now in 2026, the US government has to refinance about $10 trillion of debt that the US government borrowed back in 2021. The only problem is that interest rates today are 3.6%. So the US government either has to pay that debt, which we know for a fact that the United States government is not going to do that because the US government doesn't even earn that much money. The total income that the government is earning is about $5 to $5.5 trillion. So the only option that the government has is to refinance that debt. But because interest rates today are 3.6%, you are going to refinance those $10.6 trillion at a much higher interest rate than the interest rate that you used to borrow that money back in 2021. Short-term treasuries have 3.5% yields, while long-term government bonds have about 4.6%. Ideally, you want to refinance your entire debt with 30-year government bonds, because if you can do that, you can simply forget about your debt and then you have to worry about them 30 years later. But because the size of the US debt is so insanely huge, even a single percentage point in interest rates is going to cost the US government hundreds of billions of dollars, which means that the only option the government has right now is to refinance that debt with short-term debt. In fact, this year alone, the US government is going to pay about $1 trillion in interest payments. And if the US government is going to pay an additional 1% in yield, that is going to cost the government an extra almost $400 billion. So instead of paying $1 trillion, the government will pay about $1.4 trillion in interest payments, which is, to be honest, is a lot of money. It's a huge chunk of the entire government's revenue. And here's how Donald Trump is planning to fix that. Donald Trump over the last year has been consistently attacking the chairman of the Fed to lower down interest rates. And now he has appointed somebody who seems like he actually wants to lower the interest rates. And because the entire debt is expiring and maturing this year, he wants to refinance it with short-term debt, which means that 3 months later or 6 months later, those debts must be refinanced again. And if the new Fed chair is going to lower interest rates by summer this year, he will be able to refinance all of that debt at a much lower interest rates than the current interest rates. If the current yields are about 3.6%, because interest rates by the Fed are set to about 3.6%, if by the middle of the year or the end of the year, interest rates will be about 2.5%, he will be able to refinance all of that debt with 2.5% interest rate. And because every single percent costs the government about $400 billion, he will save the US government hundreds of billions of dollars. While this seems like a really great plan because it allows you to manage interest payments in the short run, it can easily turn into a huge catastrophe. Since China started selling US treasuries, and European countries have also announced that they will also be selling hundreds of billions of dollars of US treasuries because the United States is no longer a reliable partner, the only question comes back at the end of the day is that who is going to buy all of that debt? Even if you artificially lower down interest rates, it is going to create inflation, which means that the only entity that will be able to buy so much US debt is the Federal Reserve. So the question is where the Fed will take the money to buy so much US treasuries when these countries are dumping hundreds of billions of dollars of US debt. The only option that the Fed has is by printing money. And we all have seen what has happened back in 2021 and 2022, where inflation spiked dramatically when the Fed started printing trillions of dollars to buy so much US debt. And this time, it is not going to be an exception. Every single time the Fed is going to do that, it is going to lead to a high inflation. All of that quantitative easing is going to cause another wave of inflation. That inflation could be 4% or 5%, which means that the Federal Reserve will have to hike interest rates yet again in 3 to 5 years from now. That might happen as soon as 2030 or 2031, which is literally 4 to 5 years later. And because almost all debt today is being refinanced with short-term treasuries, which means that they are going to expire in 3 to 5 years from now, the US government will have no other option but to refinance that debt at a much higher interest rate because the Fed will be forced to hike interest rates by 2029 or 2030 because there is going to be so much inflation. And because the US debt is projected to cross $53 trillion by 2031, and 2031 isn't like 10 years or 20 years from now. 2031 is literally going to be during the period of the next president of the United States. So if the Fed raises interest rates to 5% in 2030 or 2031, 5% out of $53.3 trillion is about $2.7 trillion. So 5 years from now, interest payments could be as high as $2.7 trillion. If investors today are already skeptical and are not buying as much as they should 30-year government bonds, imagine what is going to happen 5 years later when the debt is going to cross $53 trillion, and the vast majority of that will have to be refinanced at a much higher interest rate. If refinancing the debt today at this level is such a huge catastrophe, just imagine for a moment what a big deal it is going to be 5 years later. When you're spending the vast majority of your income on interest payments, you become somebody to whom loaning money is risky. Imagine if you're making $100,000 and you're spending $50,000 annually just on interest payments. If you go to another bank and you try to borrow money and the bank sees that you're already spending 50% of your entire income on interest payments, what do you think this bank is going to think about you? Do you think the bank is going to trust you to give you 30-year loans? Do you think the bank is going to charge you a lower interest rate, or the bank is going to charge you a much higher interest rate? So technically, even though that this is a very short-term solution, any investor with a little bit of brain that can look into the future 5 years later can realize what a big catastrophe it is going to be. 5 years later, refinancing all of that debt is going to cost the US government a lot more. When you're investing, the most important thing that you pay attention to is risk and reward. The riskier the investment, the higher the reward that you're expecting. If you are investing in a company such as Palantir, you expect it to grow by 100% because it's a very risky investment. But when you're investing your money in a fixed deposit in a bank, you expect to receive about 3 or 4%, not 100% for a fact, because this is a very safe investment. You're essentially not taking any risk or whatsoever. When the US government has to pay at least a third to a half of its entire revenue to interest payments, do you think risks are rising or risks are falling? And if the risks are rising, do you think investors are going to demand a much higher interest rate or a lower interest rate? That's when you understand that the cost of refinancing that debt is going to be a lot more expensive than it's right now. That's why China is ordering its largest financial institutions to start selling US treasuries, because this is unsustainable. Your dollars are about to become worthless. It's far better to take that money and invest it somewhere that is going to grow in value. It could be gold, it could even be the Chinese yuan, or it could be anything else that is not going to depreciate as much as the US dollar is depreciating today. When interest rates for the government rise, instantly interest rates across the country are going to rise. So taking a mortgage is going to be a lot more expensive. You cannot possibly get your mortgage at a lower interest rate than the interest rate that the government is borrowing money. Auto loans are going to be more expensive. Any kind of loans are going to be more expensive, whether we are talking about student loans, credit card loans, personal loans, you name it. And since the entire US economy is literally running on loans, you can imagine what kind of a catastrophe it is going to be for the average American, because the cost of borrowing is going to be substantially higher than it's right now. 10 years ago, it was optional to invest, but today you have no other option but to be an investor in order not to be crushed in this economy. You have to make money, put that money to work, otherwise that money is becoming absolutely worthless. And if you haven't started investing yet, then check out the Investing Academy right now. The link is going to be in the description.